The first thing we're going to look at is how Forex prices move. And prices can only really move in three different directions. Prices can move up, prices can move down, or prices can move sideways. And when we look at these three price movements, we'll be able to form an entire Forex trading system when we understand how that works. In the Forex market, prices don't just move up or down, they actually move in a bit of a zigzag pattern. So for a price to go up, it would actually kind of zigzag up a little bit, down a little bit, and then move up. And for the price to go down, it would zigzag down, moving like this. I'm sure you've seen that charts can look like this at a certain resolution. So we have basic movements. If we could zoom in to the smallest movement possible, we could see that Forex prices move with this basic shape. Prices go up, then they come down. Or if it wanted to move down, it would have this shape. Prices would go down, then they'd come back up. About 800 years ago, an Italian mathematician named Leonardo Fibonacci discovered a numerical relationship that explains human behavior. Now, it turns out that Fibonacci's theory actually applies to Forex trading and can be quite useful for the Forex market. And what Fibonacci theory applied to Forex says is that prices may make a movement up to a certain level, which I call 100% on this picture here. And then instead of continuing to go, usually they come down a bit, and usually they come down to about 62% or 61.8%. Now for our purposes, you can see that most of the time it's not going to precisely hit this number. It's either going to come down and not hit that number and then go back up, or it could keep going. So I'm not saying that this 61.8% is always going to be hit, or it's only going to hit that level and then bounce up again. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that if it hits this number, 61.8%, then we can follow certain rules that turn out to be useful for Forex trading. Now, on actual Forex charts, the patterns look more rounded. They're actually more like a candy cane. So I draw them as straight lines because it makes a nice diagram, but in reality on the Forex charts they look more like a candy cane. So I like to call these Forex candy canes. And when prices want to move down, the same thing applies. We have a movement down, which we call 100%, and then it retraces up to a 61.8% of that movement level. I'll just fix this typo here on the screen. Now, be careful when you use a Fibonacci tool. What the tool will say is it'll call this line 38.2% because that's the 100% minus the 61.8%. But this level is 61.8, and that corresponds to this level here. So we could say that it retraced 38.2%, or we could say that it retraced to 61.8%. But the thing to keep in mind is we come down 100% and then we move up almost 40%. So it's like 3 steps forward, 1 step back, something like that. And the Fibonacci waves down on the charts are actually more rounded than straight, even though it's a nice picture to draw it straight. So when we're looking for them, they're going to look like umbrella handles. So I call that a Forex umbrella handle. So I already said that prices either move up, and we know they do that in a candy cane, or they move down. It's called a Forex umbrella handle. But how do they move sideways? Well, on a Forex chart, we might see something like a wave develop like this, and then instead of going up again for another wave, we might see it kind of undo itself. And then if we keep looking at this develop, we might see that there's kind of a peak here, and we might see that there's a floor here, and we might see that the prices, they want to stay in this range and do their own thing, and doesn't even have to follow any particular pattern. It could just be wild craziness. So for Forex sailing, if we have anything like this happening where it's not a clear direction going up, we don't want to do that. That's called a consolidation. If you don't see a clear wave pattern trending in one direction, then we're just going to call it a conversation for our purposes. And we don't want to trade these, because for Forex sailing, that's how you get burnt. So let's see what these Fibonacci waves look like on Forex price charts. So we're looking for a pattern to fit either a candy cane, an umbrella handle, or some type of a channel. Okay, so if we look at this chart over here, I can see a nice umbrella handle, and then if I start looking there, that's not quite one because it almost comes all the way back up. So just looking at this kind of movement, I'm looking for a movement about the same size as this one, because if I get into smaller movements, that's actually kind of a smaller time frame. So I can go from this point and maybe draw kind of like an umbrella handle there. But what we actually have is we have a little downtrend happening there. And then we see that there's this nice Forex candy cane that breaks out. So we have a trend line break with a nice Forex candy cane, and then this would have been our entry point. This would have been number 3 on the diagram I showed you earlier, and we could have plotted a move the same size from here to here, from here all the way up. So you see this is still in progress, but start to have the makings of this is almost a little candy cane. It could just kind of move sideways and then up, or it could actually be done. It could be sort of a failed trade there. So you see there's 2 obvious umbrella handles, break the trend, and then you got 2 nice size Forex candy canes. And if you're looking at the picture, you might try to say, this one isn't quite a candy cane because it goes straight. That's not a picture of a candy cane. So we're looking for that pattern. We're just trying to fit the pattern of the candy cane and the umbrella handle into our chart so that we can make trading decisions with it later. Now it's your turn to go Forex sailing, and here's just a little bit of homework to help you learn what was taught in this video. I want you to look for these wave patterns on your Forex price charts. Try to see the candy canes, try to see the umbrella handles. And you can get this complete Forex sailing course on my website, rapidforex.com. There's also a free 90-day Forex trading boot camp that's about to launch soon, where for 90 days we're going to trade real money and we're going to learn Forex trading. There's also tons of free Forex training at rapidforex.com. So go there today and sign up for your free 20-part e-course, and you'll get everything in Forex sailing and a lot more.